Welcome to the Yossi Schmidt Show, presented by Team World Supporter. In this week's episode, we will be discussing the double standard of the left. How the left takes everything that they do and they turn it on the right, and they demand that the right apologizes for everything that they do. Not too long ago, on January 6th, President Trump and his supporters staged a protest in order to say that they felt that the election was stolen. What ensued was not what President Trump had planned. President Trump planned a peaceful protest, which he said in his speech. What ensued was violent riots, storming the Capitol, numerous laws broken, and numerous people killed. So, the left then took it and blamed it all on President Trump. He declared violence. They took away his Twitter account. They took away his Instagram account. They took away his Facebook account. They took everything away from him because President Trump had directed violence. He had incited violence on January 6th. In reality, last year when Derek Chauvin and George Floyd had their meetup, where Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's back, not on his neck, as is proven in the trial. But cops are racist against blacks. We must put an end to this. And how are we going to put an end to this? By looting Apple stores, looting all these stores, and making millions off these stores, and demanding reparations. That's how we're going to put an end to it. And the Democrats in power, they said there's going to be more people to the streets as they demand an end to systemic racism. Let's put an end to policing. Let's put an end to all this. Because that's going to solve the problem. And that's what ensued. For months, not just weeks, for months, people took to the streets and destroyed and murdered innocent people because they had an agenda to follow what the Democrats in power said. It doesn't end there. Now, unfortunately, another mistake happened. Duante Wright was killed accidentally by a cop because she meant to pull out her taser and she pulled out a gun. Mistakes like that shouldn't happen. I am not saying that she is right. But to go and blame his systemic racism on such a thing? Come on, stop it. Last night, the recording today is Sunday, right before the day of the podcast release. Last night, Maxine Waters took to the streets in Brooklyn Center, where the killing by mistake happened. And she demanded that people continue taking to the streets and continue telling people to murder and loot and everything. Why? Because the left has an agenda. End policing so they can bring in more people and more people and more people. Enough is enough. Let's accept what the left has done. And let's blame the left for what they are doing. As if calling for violence outright wasn't enough for the Democrats, they decided to sneak it in. The Democrats in California passed a bill in the state Senate allowing for the names and addresses of anyone who signed the petition to recall Governor Gavin Newsom to be released and exposed. What do you think that's going to do? Don't you think that if the liberal voters get a hold of that, they're not going to go and intimidate the people and be violent and attack them and smash their houses and all that? Come on! You have to sneak it in, also call it out for outright, sneak it in. What do you want? You're literally destroying America. Enough is enough. We have to take a stand while we still can. I'm going to end off with this. There's a way we can stop this. You have to call your state senators, your state representatives. You have to call everyone you can, your elected officials, and tell them that you will not stand for violence. Protest peacefully. Tell them enough is enough. We want no violence in our America. Stop coming for our Constitution. Stop coming for violence. And stop it. put an end to violence. Don't call for it outright. Don't call for it sneakily. Don't call for violence at all. You swore to uphold the Constitution. Keep your promise. Keep your swear. Enough is enough. Please leave us a review on either Podchaser or iTunes, as it really helps us climb the charts. Thank you very much. This episode is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is a free app that allows you to record a podcast straight from your phone or your computer. Very easy to use. It distributes your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can make money from it with no minimum listenership. It's very simple to use. Just download the app today or go to anchor.fm and get started today. Thank you again for sponsoring. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please remember to subscribe to us, follow us wherever you listen to podcasts, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you so much.